Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Purpose Peace here, back with another video. Welcome in if you are new. Welcome back if you are already tried and true. Welcome to the crew, baby. Here we talk about things all mind, body, soul alignment. I want to keep you on the right track. Remind you to be mindful of the experience that you are living. Understand that perception is reality and accept truths for what they are and question everything. Because do you really know? And so today I wanted to kind of talk about the saturation of the term luxury. How overcompensated it has become to the point that it sells a dream and a feeling more than it sells actual quality. And I've noticed this amongst several different categories. So for instance, I was doing an order one day and it was like 15 cake boxes. And I pull up to the lady. I'm like, do you bake cakes? And she's like, yeah. Shows me her van. I was like, oh, got a whole little business. That's what's up. Power to you. She gave me her cards. And I was like, hey. And it read luxury cakes. And I was like, didn't I just deliver you 11 boxes of bread 40 dextrose chemical that you talking about homemade, fresh? Like, maybe homemade, yes, because it was made in a home. But come on now. And it was called like luxury flavor. No, it wasn't called that. It said like luxury flavors or like, and it's like, what's so luxury about Pillsbury or Duncan Hine? Can you put them on the flyer? Because that's who made it. You feel me? No shade. And even high quality things, brand name things, have the same amount of relevance as that same false advertisement. And so that's why it's like better to understand value than it is to trust a label. That goes even in categories of like our personal life, right? But let me get back to the luxury real quick. My car. I have two. I have one that I have to climb in through the back seat because the front seats don't unlock. I have to manually and do all that extra stuff and it don't work. But I pay for that transmission to get fixed, so you best believe I'm gonna ride till the wheels literally fall off. Unlike this car that is covered if the wheels fall off, because I pay for that. But it's luxury. And it's like material that I could probably punch and dent with my mind, but it's luxury. And my other one, nobody gonna want to steal that. And somebody broke into it for sure, because I left something out, but like, they didn't want the car. This one, oh, they gonna be like, can I wire the red and the blue? Is that purple? Can I go with the green? They gonna try to take this. Is that luxurious? So it's like a false hope and a false dream that causes bankruptcy for your emotions because you want the satisfaction of what it looks like versus allowing things to just look like and that not necessarily be what it is, right? And so when I was saying the labels that are false advertisement, that's the same thing with our friendships. Same thing as a student. It's the same thing as a child. Like, family, what is that? Right? Like, tell me. I want to know. What is family to you? Put that in the comments, please. Because I genuinely am interested. I'm curious. Because is it relevant? There's no relationship. Like, what is the contents of that title? That's what matters. And one person who I was talking to, he said it's reciprocity. Like, that's why he doesn't have friends, because they lack reciprocity. So if you don't do friends, what do you do? He didn't really answer the question, but he answered. He had to answer it. But he answered it without answering it. He does relationships, but only those worth investing in. So being selective about what you are willing to put into, right? Because you're paying for a label more than you are paying for the value. When we allow false advertisements to bait us, essentially, right? Because that's all it is clickbait. Luxury this, luxury that, luxury my excuse me. And it high key irritates me. Because a lot of the time, even people be trying to present themselves as a certain way. And it's like, why can't you just be? Like, why can't you just, and I even myself struggle sometimes with trying to be perceived. But when I'm investing in a very interpersonal relationship, that's out the window. When I'm trying to create a brand, that is the window, because you are window shopping. You don't know what it is, so I have to engage you. I have to, and like you're gonna see a specific side of my personality, because that's what creates the connection, essentially, right? If I'm on here moping and said, like, you're not gonna want to come to that. So I'm presenting myself in a way that is welcoming and not perceivable, that is well received. And it's not a front, it's just a part of me. Is my whole self out? In different areas, in different ways. With my writing, that's full exposure for me. That's nakedness. But I'm more clothed in the environments that I need to be. But what I don't get is when you're trying to build something with somebody, but you're sending your representatives. You're sending, you're selling false hope. You're selling a story. You're trying to, and like, that's the dangers of the world that we live in today. One of the dangers is the access to knowledge and the propensity to repeat letters that we don't embody, that we haven't, like, that we've lived, but we have not lived with the mindset of receiving that message. So it's like not wakeful living, it's sleepwalking. And so you're just repeating what you heard because it sounds nice, and that's what people want to hear, who are at that level of evolution, but you are still revolving around selfish gain. So that's why you are presenting yourself a certain way, because you want to receive something from somebody, and you're baiting them with what you're going to give them, but you never actually give it to them, which is why it's bait, versus the other person preparing a meal. What do you bring to the table? You can't be the table. Oh, I build a table. We both build a table. What are you bringing to it? That's the question. You're not answering the question. You feel me? And so maybe I should do a podcast. Okay, I'm gonna stay focused. I appreciate if you made it this far in the video. I thank you for listening. I hope the comprehension makes sense and that it is all clicking. You're able to follow the different maps that I try to provide, because I want it to be edible for a large group of people. I want it to be digestible as well. So, and like I said, if I know I speak abstract, so if there's any questions that you have, please do put it in the comments, because I would love to discuss with you. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to prove I'm right, because I know I'm wrong. And I also know I'm right. And I love to hear other people's perspectives. And there's so much that we can learn from each other. This is growing grounds. So sow your seed, please. And it's not always financial. Like, why? the way that things can be interpreted and translated, and like investing, that doesn't have to be financial in somebody. You invest time, emotions, you invest energy, sometimes you do invest money, sometimes you invest, you're always offering something, and there's always somebody receiving something. That's the balance of give and take. There's a bug crawling, it completely distracted me. There is no other way. Like, there's no alternative. Everything is an exchange of energy. So knowing what is worth investing in, but how do we know if we can't tell the difference between what's luxurious and what's just clickbait? Well, that's when truly having values comes into play. You measure it against your values. That's why what could be wrong for you is right for somebody else, but what's right for them is wrong for you. Is that what I said? Yeah. So what contents do you actually have? What contents are you giving out? Because I think when we are consciously making these deliveries, when we are consciously exchanging, then we can recognize the patterns, because maybe your intentions aren't actually as pure as you thought, which is why there's motives everywhere else too. I'm not saying that is true. I'm saying to ask questions, to observe without offense, without defense, stripping yourself from anything that encourages bias. which is why it's like, I try not to identify with anything, because identities then create diversion. And there's one thing that we do as humanity is we seek the familiar, even if it's going to destroy it. Even to our own self-destruction, we will seek and perpetuate the familiar. That is creatures of habit, and we are creatures, and we forget that. And do we understand how we have been domesticated and indoctrinated? I don't think we do until we start asking questions. So, in order to be lost, you must first be found. That's not my quote, but everything else was pretty much straight off the dome. But we don't realize it until a light is shined. So here I hope that you take what feeds you today, that you eat off of that, and that you save the rest for later, that you come back for the leftovers when you're ready to hear with different ears, or when you're receptive, or maybe you already were. So thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. I really hope that this helped you, because it helped me, and I want to hear what you had to say. So leave some stuff in the comments below. Have a good one. Peace, love, and soul.